watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
It was like, give me your dog or I'm gonna kill you.
A broad daylight dog napping, a French bulldog stolen mere months after the puppy's owner lost her dog in a flood. Her plea tonight, and the latest from DC police. Plus a wave of crime, at least 250 people now killed this year in the district where the violence erupted overnight. And heading home, the Thanksgiving travel rush. We're live where tens of thousands are landing on the runway after those family feasts.
And we have a DMV weather alert day coming up. I'll let you know what day that is going to be and for why I'm calling a weather alert day. We'll talk about that in your full forecast in just a few.
And good evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 this Sunday evening. I'm Ben Dennis. We begin with a wave of violent crime overnight in the district. At least 5 incidents between 9 p.m. to 2 a.m., including one homicide. But first, a mass shooting. 4 people shot in Northwest near 7th and Q. DC police say a shooting in the Shaw neighborhood there happened around 2:15 this morning. Police say 2 of those victims are women sent to the hospital. 2 victims are men who showed up to the hospital on their own, all reported conscious and breathing. And turn back the clock in Northeast just after 9 p.m. Police say a man was shot dead on Benning Road near 17th Street. The man reportedly shot several times at the scene. He died at the hospital. D.C. has now seen at least 250 homicides this year, according to police data. That grim milestone reached over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Turning now, a dog napping in broad daylight, a woman's young French bulldog stolen outside of her home, and just months after she says her previous dog drowned in that district dog's daycare flood back in August that killed 10 dogs. Here's that missing dog, 6-month-old French bulldog named Hendrix, brown and white coloring. He was snatched from the arms of his owner. According to police, this happened just after 4 p.m. yesterday. Well, Tiffany Worthy went up her building steps when a suspect who appeared to have a taser got out of this black sedan right there, followed her up the stairs. She says he claimed, quote, "Give me your dog or I'm going to kill you." He approached slowly, but she did hand over the leash there. Before that suspect, you can see right now, taking the dog in his arms, running back to that Nissan with tinted windows and paper tags. Headed east on Monroe Street, we're told. Worthy explains the vulnerability she felt just feet from the safety of her home, and she's wanting Hendrix home safe.
It was like, give me your dog or I'm gonna kill you. Felt hopeless. I was just shocked that this happened. I feel like I'm very cautious. I welcome in a daytime where there's cameras, and hopefully we can get them back soon.
Again, this is the suspect's photo. Anybody who can identify him or his knowledge of the crime or who knows where the French bulldog is should step in, but should not step in. Rather, they should call police at the number below or text a tip to DC's police tip line 50411. Switching gears, people are making their way home in droves following the long Thanksgiving holiday. And roads and airports are busy with those returning home from time with their loved ones. That includes at Reagan National Airport, where we find DC News Now's Dave Laval. Dave, how busy is it there right now?
Well, good evening to you, Ben, and I have to admit I'm surprised because, as you can see, the terminal here is pretty much quiet, and it's been that way for most of the afternoon that we've been here. TSA employees told me you had a much different scene earlier this morning, and while it is quiet in here, outside the terminal, it's a much different story. Both the departure and arrival areas look like parking lots as people get dropped off or picked up by friends and loved ones. Getting into the parking garages is also difficult, but once inside the terminal, it's pretty easy for passengers to get to their flights. The website FlightAware recorded close to 100 delays today here at the airport, but no cancellations. Dulles around 70 delays and 1 cancellation, and no cancellations and 134 delays at Baltimore, Washington. As for Reagan National, no complaints from passengers we talked to earlier.
Super surprised. Like, I was just about to text my friends in Miami, like, the airport is empty. Like, I'm so confused. But yeah, I just need to get through it, definitely.
The TSA predicts it will screen close to 3 million passengers nationwide before the end of the day, and that would likely make it the busiest travel day of the year. The long Thanksgiving travel period ends on Tuesday after it started Friday, November 17th. We're live at Reagan National Airport. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Dave. Over to your weather now with Scott Sumner. Scott, forecasted yesterday we were going to see some of that rain right now, and it's kind of graying out that live shot behind you.
Yeah, it's the visibility isn't that great out here, Ben. As you see, 46 degrees. This is Roslyn from a rooftop camera looking towards the west. There's some light rain to rain showers across the region. Let's zoom in on that. Here we go. We have the light rain across all of the district practically, extending up in towards Montgomery County and even further into Anne Arundel County. We move a little bit further to the north and the west. We have a few lighter showers that are moving across Allegheny County and heading towards Washington County along I-68 and I-70. And then the broad view, again, as we widen out, you can see we do have some light rain moving in with a front that's going to be moving in overnight tonight. Temperatures, as you'll see here, are going to be holding steady in the 40s, eventually falling into the 30s by the time we get to the wee hours of the morning. Not record-breaking cold, but there is a DMV weather alert day coming up. We'll talk about that day, which is Tuesday, by the way, and why I'm giving that a weather alert date coming up in just a few moments.
Plenty to cover. Thank you, Scott. But turning our attention to the Middle East, where we are tracking the latest developments in the Israel-Hamas war. President Biden confirming just today a 4-year-old American girl is among the latest group of hostages who've been set free. Abigail Eden now marks the first American to be freed by Hamas since the swaps from those hostages started 3 days ago. In all, 9 children were part of the most recent group of 13 hostages released. Meantime, Israel agreed to release 39 Palestinian prisoners in that swap. A 4th exchange is expected tomorrow, the last day of the ceasefire based on those original terms. Back here in the districts, residents have a chance to voice their own opinions this week on 2 pieces of legislation. One that may provide free meals for nearly all students. Another, a graduation requirement for high school that students apply for federal student aid toward college. DC News Now's Tosin Fakile is in the studio sharing more.
The first bill looks to offer free breakfast, lunch, and after-school snacks to basically all D.C. students without considering eligibility. The other bill puts in a new requirement for filing a FAFSA application in order to get a diploma. The Universal Free Meals Act of 2023 says beginning in the 2023-24 school year and every school year after, public schools, charter schools, and private schools that participate in the National School Lunch Program will offer free breakfast, lunch, and after-school snacks to all students without considering students' eligibility for a federally funded free or reduced price meal. Council members say the D.C. Food Policy Council estimated this legislation would cost about $8 million annually, and 86% of the cost for this bill would be covered by already existing federal and local reimbursement. The other bill that's up for public hearing will require, beginning with the graduating class of 2024, each D.C. public high school student file a free federal student aid application as a prerequisite to receiving a high school diploma. Students and families would have the option to opt out by completing a waiver from the Office of the State Superintendent of Education. Now, D.C. leaders are hoping this will encourage post-secondary enrollment like in universities and colleges and reduce the burden of student loan. Officials say despite D.C. having one of the highest FAFSA completion rates in the nation, very few of D.C.'s 2022 graduating class applied for aid. Now, both bills were introduced by Councilmember Christina Henderson, and they'll be up for public hearing on Thursday. You can read more about the bills on our website, dcnewsnow.com. In the studio, I'm Tosin Fakile. Back to you.
Our thanks to Tosin. Tonight in Virginia, Fairfax County is hosting several holiday markets this winter. Starting this Friday, the McLean Holiday Art and Crafts Festival. It'll feature more than 80 regional vendors. It'll run all weekend. The Fairfax City Market runs the first 2 weekends of December and will have live music and rotating vendors. And the Herndon Winter Market will be on December the 9th. It gives visitors a traditional taste of a German holiday market. Plenty of fun. And today's the last day for the Maryland Christmas Show in Frederick. The show highlights the work of top local artisans, craftsmen, just in time to buy Christmas presents. Our Michaela Newton takes us to the show.
Nothing says Christmas spirit like Santa and gifts.
We got a Christmas nightlight, we got a book, we got some wine.
Right now I got these dry nail polish, and basically you just put it on, just seal it on, and then you're done.
In its 40th season, the Maryland Christmas Show showcases things like fine art and jewelry from local artists and vendors throughout several buildings in Frederick's Fairgrounds. Some vendors are first-timers.
We paint on roofing tiles. It's a slate product. We use an exterior enamel paint, so it's meant to go outside year-round. And we customize it with names or addresses. We also do pet portraits.
While others have been attending the show for 30 years and have sold out almost every item.
It's just having come here for 30 years, I have repeat customers. I don't really consider them customers as much as friends now. And it's only me making them, so they're limited in number, so people do tend to come earlier on the first day.
This is the last weekend of the show. The last day to shop is Sunday until 4 p.m.
We've been for like 5 years or more. 10. Yeah, so, yeah. Every Black Friday we come.
It's been really cool. I think it's nice to see all these different local artists have display their art, and I love supporting local and finding new cool things, especially for Christmas.
Reporting in Frederick, Maryland, Michaela Newton, DC News Now.
Plenty of festive fun. Thanks to Michaela. One of DC's favorite traditions is back and brighter than ever. The National Zoo's zoo lights have returned for the 15th year. The Winter Wonderland is lit by more than 500,000 LED lights and highlights rainforest, grassland, desert, ocean, and polar habitats. If you plan on getting in those sites, here's what you need to know. Zoo Lights is open every Friday through Sunday until December the 30th. But the last week of December, it's open Tuesday through Saturday. But new this year, it's not free. Paid tickets are required to attend. It's $6 each for ages 2 and older. Doors open at 5 p.m.